industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome back to all of you in one more impactful panel discussion in the occasion of Women's Day. So my name is Pratibha and I'll be your host today. So let's start with the today's discussion. I hope you're all ready for that. Just allow me a minute to share my screen. Meanwhile, please do let us know from where you guys are watching. We would be happy to know that. So on behalf of the Global Skill Development Council, I'm truly delighted to welcome you all into the GSDC Certified Learning, Women Leading the AI-Powered Enterprise, and open panel discussion on learning standards, risk, projects, and agentic leadership, a special Women's Day panel celebrating leadership and impact in building AI-powered enterprise. And one of the things which make this open panel discussion interesting is the amazing expert panel we have lined up for you. Some of them have already delivered and already had an impactful and insightful panel discussion, and others are all set to bring in more powerful ideas. So before starting the discussion, let me give you a quick introduction who we are. Global Skill Development Council is a globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by ABICB. Till yet, we have a 250,000 professional certified with us. We are associated with 100 plus training partners, 1,000 plus multinational companies, and 50 plus universities worldwide. We also have 500 plus subject matter in-house who help us developing our program. And these are the training partners who are associated with us from Asia, Africa, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, Singapore, and many other regions. So special thanks to training all the training partners for associating with us and helping us improving our program. And a very special thank you to our media partner, WordPress Hub, for covering all of our press releases and event releases. So before starting the discussion, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we have just launched a very unique platform called GSDC AI Studio, Lifelong Learning Initiative. In the GSDC AI Studio, you're going to get 100 plus live monthly sessions with global expert, including 4 daily sessions, 45-minute live expert lead session for hands-on learning, sessions from global expert. Now you can learn directly from our AI leaders around the world. Real-time practice. You can apply concept immediately and get your question answered. Certification ready. You will be getting the training aligned with industry standard for job-ready skills. So currently we are covering 100 plus certification in our portfolio, including Learning and Development, HR, Gen AI, Agentic AI, Emerging Technologies, ISO Lead Auditor and Implementer, Project Management and PMO, Agile DevOps and SRE, Cybersecurity, Digital Transformation, and many more. But once you get certified with GSDC, you just don't walk away with certification. You also become a part of our community, which comes with GSDC membership benefit, including lifelong membership, certification upgrade, workshop, boot camps, learning club access, also the full benefit of GSDC AI Studio, and many more. With that, it's time to welcome our today's panel and moderator for the discussion. So we have the first and AI governance leader with 15 plus years of experience in building and scaling cyber transformation programs. She excels at aligning cybersecurity with business strategies, making her a trusted advisor to global enterprise. Currently, she is leading information security governance at UPL, where she drives global security, data privacy, evolving threats and regulations, also the digital risk, while enabling innovation at scale. Thank you so much coming on our platform, Maya.
Thank you so much,
We are very
Pratibha.
honored to have you as one of our panelists. So, thank you so much. Second panelist, we have Cassandra. Cassandra, with 10 plus years of experience in information security and cyber security across regulated industries. She specializes in governance, risk management, and implementing security management system aligned with international standards. Currently, she serves as an information security officer at Prima AFP and is also an active cybersecurity consultant and speaker. Thank you so much coming on our platform, Cassandra. We are very honored to have you here today. Third panel, we have Krishnini. Krishnini is a seasoned chemical engineering professional with 20 plus years of in risk management, process safety, EGs, and she has helped organizations design practical risk frameworks and identify opportunities that align operational performance with sustainability goals. She is also an expert in ISO 31000, ISO 19011, ISO 9001, and ISO 45001, and as ISO 22361, and also passionate about mentoring the next generation of risk professionals, especially women in high hazard industries. Thank you so much to coming on our platform, Krishnini. We are very honored to have you here today. And last but not the least, we have our moderator, Livia. Livia is a security and privacy specialist with expertise in governance, risk and compliance, and ISO 27001 framework. She specialized in cybersecurity strategies, digital forensics, and data protection practice. Livia also focused on emerging risk related to generative AI and responsible technology adoption. Her work support organizations in security posture security posture while ensuring compliance and privacy excellence. So thank you so much coming on our platform, Livia. We are very honored to have you here today. So audience, before handing over the virtual mic, just a quick reminder, if you have any query or if you'd like to connect with our panel today for any question, please feel free to use the chat box. Once again, don't be shy. Drop your reactions, emojis, and quick comment into the chat. That's how we know you're with us, actively listening and absorbing from this insightful panel discussion. With that, it's time to hand over the virtual mic to Livia. Livia, the stage is all yours.
Good, thank you very much. And hello, everybody. Hi, girls. How are you? Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome again. Welcome again to Other and Sector International Women's Day. Woman leading the AI-powered enterprise. Okay, we are so proud to host today's open panel discussion at the intersection of AI, risk management, and ISO driving leadership. Wow. And our topic is Women in Risk Management and ISO Drive Leadership, leveraging AI to predict, prevent, and protect. And well, running this, we have three parts. We separe our topic in three parts. One, challenges. Wow. Second, solution. And three, benefits. And I like to predict, prevent, and protect. So, to protect time, I will keep answers to about 6 to 9 seconds for our girls that will cover all the three segments. So let's begin with quick introduction about them. And hi, Dylan. And then we'll go straight to the challenge, and we will start. Uh, Join me, all these outstanding women leaders across the cybersecurity, standardized governance, and the enterprise risk. So, direct to Maya. Maya, you lead across cybersecurity, data privacy, and AI governance. What's the first AI risk issue you see right now or facing day to day, or you believe that comes from industry or the companies? What do you think? Tell us, please.
Thank you, Livia. Very relevant and very apt question, considering the current, AI era that's going. So, one of the biggest risk that I've seen or I've experienced across the organizations are, very massive adoption of AI very rapidly, increasing without having an adequate visibility into the risk, not having, accurate oversight on the security and not having exactly any governance guardrails in place. So we have seen organizations are, investing, adopting, and are very hurriedly, into AI race, but they do not have a clear visibility on what is their AI, landscape, what is the risk from that, and what are the guardrails they should be ensuring. So many teams are experimenting with AI tools to improve productivity, decision making, definitely, supporting the innovation. But however, in many cases, its adoption is having faster than the organization's ability to assess and manage the risk. So we have seen, I like you would also seen, a lot of, cases or a lot of news that comes, with the AI, there is a lot of increase in the, a lot of spear phishing attacks, there are very much, a lot of AI enabled attacks that we have seen. A lot of sensitive data has been exposed to through external AI platforms. There are very lack of transparency into AI generated outputs. Users are not very clear on, the outputs that they are trusting. What is the algorithm? What is the logic behind, generating those outputs? And there is no clear accountability for decisions influenced by AI systems. So right now, we do not see in organizations there is a clear accountability of a person who can come forward and you can vouch on, what is on the, the outputs or the algorithm that has been designed for the output. So we do not even have a clear ownership there is a CIO hierarchy or a organization structure. We have seen CDO, CISOs. There are different structures, where AI has been taken, ahead. But we do not have a clear kind of a, ownership that, that we have seen that it's defined, and we have a clear person who's accountable to oversee the entire AI, for this organization. So this is one of the key, risk, I would say, or key concerns that I've experienced and I've seen,
That you
and
face.
also, yeah, heard from the industry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. And Cassandra, you as information security officer and professional work with ISO 27001 and ISO 31000, what is your biggest shift you're seeing in the risk and compliance?
Thanks for the question, Olivia. Today, the threat landscape is evolving much faster than traditional compliance cycles. So adversaries are operating at machine speed. In some recent threat intelligence reports, attackers can move laterally inside an environment in less than 30 minutes after initial access. Meanwhile, many governance and compliance processes still operate in quarterly or annual cycles. That creates a gap between how fast risk emerges and how fast organizations detect and respond to it. Because of this, we are seeing a shift toward continuous and intelligence-driven risk management. Instead of asking only, are we compliant with the control? Organizations are asking, do we have real visibility of our exposure right now? This is where the technologies like AI, automation, and advanced analytics becomes very powerful, and they allow us to analyze massive volumes of signals, from vulnerabilities to identify behaviors to cloud configurations, and translate them into actionable risk insights for leaderships. So the real transformation is this: compliance is becoming the baseline, but the real value of frameworks like iOS 27001 and ISO 31000 is enabling organizations to build adaptive, predictive, and resilience risk management in a world where threats evolve every day.
Whoa. Crazy. From hazard industries and enterprise risk leadership, what's the most important risk signal leaders are missing as AA adoption grows?
Thank you, Olivia. And again, just an honor to join. It's an honor to join such an inspiring panel and to build on what Maya and Cassandra have been saying. And it's a common point. So I come from a very different industry, but seeing that organizational resilience in the face of this rapidly changing decision environment is one of the key threats we see in the adoption part of the AI. AI adoption is actually non-negotiable. And the type of industry I come from, failures have real consequences for workers and even the surrounding communities that we tend to operate in. So understanding the bridge between the technology risk and the organizational risk is actually a key piece to this. I was reading an article just today that 95% of all AI initiatives never reach their full production. And that actually made me think as to why is it? Is it obviously algorithms can fail, but it's also because organizations tend to underestimate the human and governance challenge. And I think that's part of the key piece that we will be discussing later. And AI also tends to increase that complexity. And that's something we need to really unpack a lot more, because it will generate more insights, more alerts, more automated recommendations. But if our organizations don't strengthen their risk oversight and the accountability piece that Maya mentioned, and the workforce capability through upskilling rather than de-skilling, those signals actually can become ignored warnings. And then we are actually circumventing the preventative intelligence it could offer us. So just a bit of thoughts on my side on that.
Oh, wow. Well done. And thank you. And let's move into the challenge part, the predict. And talk about this part, Cassandra. Continues with now with you, Cassandra. How is AI transforming the risk landscape, and why are step to risk approaches no longer enough?
Very interesting question, Livia. Traditionally, organizations relied on a certain time buffer. Vulnerability would be discovered, teams would analyze it, patch cycles would run, and defenses would be adjusted. But with AI, that window is shrinking dramatically. Attackers can now automate reconnaissance, generate exploit variations, and craft extremely convincing social engineering campaigns in minutes. What makes this even more challenging is that AI enables adversaries to learn and adapt faster. Phishing campaigns can be personalized at scale, malware can be modified dynamically, and attackers can test multiple interaction paths until they find the weakest ones. So this creates a threat environment that is constantly evolving rather than static. Because of this, traditional cybersecurity approaches based on static controls, periodic vulnerability scans, or manual triage are no longer sufficient, and they were designed for a world where threats evolve more slowly. In today's environment, cybersecurity needs to become much more adaptive and intelligence-driven. Organizations must continuously analyze signals across identities, endpoints, cloud environments, and vulnerabilities to detect abnormal patterns early. I believe we are not hearing you, Olivia.
Sorry, and Maya, what is your point of view?
So I completely resonate with Cassandra's, thought process, and this is exactly, the speed and the scale of AI is completely different. That was, around 5 to 8 years ago. The way, the attacks can be, can be successful, or can be, the entire cycle can be completed within a fraction of second. That used to take even weeks and months. But there is also one aspect, what is different from the static risk management process that you used to follow. Now, in our traditional enterprise risk management frameworks that we have seen earlier, we generally used to focus on the technology, compliance, and operational risk majorly. But from AI, what we have seen that AI has also introduced certain different dimensions in this risk management perspective. We, initially we used to have compliance risk, security risk, but now we have, different risk like a model risk, data poisoning, algorithmic biases, hallucinations, automated decision risk. So this kind of risk is very new, and this is something that organizations were not dealing earlier. So this is something that
Really
the kind.
emergent technologies and
Yeah.
very sophisticated.
Yes, yes. So, for example, if we take an example of an of AI diagnostic tools that is trained on biased data sets, which have misdiagnosed patients from underrepresented demographics. So, if you see into this, this is not just a technology failure. It becomes legal, it becomes ethical, it becomes reputational. So, the dimension of the AI risk has changed from the traditional risk. That shift we have seen into is that's why initially the security risk used to be managed by CISO function, or generally, technology function, but now it's, moved beyond, and there is a requirement of a cross-functional working, cross-functional inputs. And, so it's a very collaborative effort that will be required to managing the risk that is, that is an outcome of an, AI, maybe risk from AI or risk to AI. There are two ways that we can see. So this is something new that I feel is different from the traditional risk assessments that we used to do earlier.
Good. And Krishni, keep that all the risk landscape with the emerging and sophisticated technology. How we could think about those cyber attackants that they are always one step ahead in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, at the risk of repeating what my cohorts have said, risk is changing very quickly. And with AI-related risks that are integrated with the rest of the business operating model, that speed is absolutely the speed of light. And the dynamics of risk management and risk frameworks have fundamentally changed. So the original risk management framework, as Maya has said, was a static risk management framework. But now AI is operating in a very dynamic system. And of course, much of our systems were to some level very dynamic. So this adoption and adaptation that needs to be taking place is very key and central for us to understand our overall risk profiles, because they will become much more dynamic for various reasons stated. We also used to do, a number of different risk assessment techniques applied to the type of risk we have. But we see that that's not enough. We need more continuous monitoring. We need to have better leading indicators for one. And all of this links to the AI piece. So risk management as a whole will have to evolve with that. And again, speaking to our earlier points about model governance and decision qualities, and even the mechanism to just challenge some of the outputs, that's going to be key to shifting the organizational paradigm. Something I learned early in my career is that yesterday's hazards, while new, will emerge in real time. So yeah, just a thought.
Yes, I see. And Maya, aligned with this kind of emergent uh, technologies, and so on, which emerging AI risks are most critical today, such as shadow AI, data exposure, model capacity, AI-enabled attacks, for example, and why?
Yes. What I see, very quickly, I could name like 3 to 4 emerging risks that, I see are stand out today from the other, standard risk. Is that first is definitely you mentioned shadow AI, which is a big pain for the organizations right now. To have a visibility and to have a proper control on the landscape of the AI systems or the applications which they have in their organizations, where employees are using unapproved AI tools. There is no governance mechanism, there is no control, and a lot of application systems are being used by employees, unrestrictedly. So that is one of the risks that I see. Then data exposure is very important aspect, because especially with lot of security laws and regulations, with data privacy laws and regulations, protecting data becomes from a very legal perspective, compliance perspective, and other business impact perspective also, it becomes very important, because especially we see that into data exposure, a lot of sensitive data is entered into public AI models. This may be an intentional or unintentional way of doing by users, but definitely we have seen, because I have worked in the chemical industry, so I am aware of there are a lot of R&D formulas, there are a lot of intellectual property rights, where employees are not aware of what are the do's and don'ts and what are the harms of putting into the public AI models, and that's where there are a lot of critical data that they input for getting the output as required. So that is one of the critical area that we may have a lot of exposure of sensitive data. Model opacity, very true, where organizations cannot explain how AI decisions are made, creating regulatory and
Hmm.
ethical concerns. So that's very important,
Mhm.
because there are outputs, but there is no reasoning behind what was the basis of this AI decisions. And then one of the
Mhm.
fourth one, what I can think is that Cassandra has very beautifully explained, is of AI-enabled cyber
Yeah.
attacks that we have seen, where attackers use a lot of AI systems or AI capabilities to automate phishing, malware creation, social engineering. So what makes this risk unique is that speed and scalability. That's most important. Means that organizations must treat AI not only as an innovation, but also as a new attack surface for them. So that's how I see these are the key emerging AI risk areas for the organizations.
Okay. And Cassandra, could you give your point of view?
Of course, Livia, I can't agree more with Maya. Shadow AI is emerging very quickly inside organizations. Employees are experimenting with generative AI tools to increase productivity. They could be summarizing documents, generating code, analyzing data, but often without visibility from security teams. The problem is that sensitive information, intellectual property, or even customer data can unintentionally be shared with external models. And once that data leaves the organization, it becomes very difficult to control how it may be stored, reused, or exposed. At the same time, we are seeing the rise of AI-enabled attacks, right? adversaries are using AI to generate highly convincing phishing campaigns, deepfake audios, or automated reconnaissance. So social engineering is becoming much more scalable and much more harder for humans to detect. And the interesting thing is that these two risks are interacting. Organizations are experimenting with AI internally, while attackers are also using AI externally. So the attack surface, like Maya was saying, is spanning from both sides. And this is why the real challenge for cybersecurity leaders today is not simply blocking AI, but establishing governance and around how it is used right now, defining policies for data usage, monitoring AI adoption across the organization, and educating employees about the risks.
Tend to
Because,
agree with you.
of course, that's all we got to do right now. All our efforts must be put on that.
Yeah, I think Krishni.
Yeah, I think on that, the thing is AI right now and the cyber risk are that place where they've intersected. And these are in the type of environments are when they affect operational decision making and safety assurance. And aside from those factors of shadow AI, opacity, data integrity, and stuff, the thing is, we are using this data to make genuine decisions. Now, this risk is no longer a digital risk. It becomes one that can translate into a physical consequence, which can be life and death in these type of environments, including major accidents and environmental disasters. So that is one of the key points where, that we see emerges from this. And also, to the point of the data itself, when operators or engineers like myself or risk managers like myself start trusting those algorithms like almost blindly, too much, and then those conditions start changing, then the quality of those decisions start shifting, and it really could be on either side of the risk curve. So yeah, it's a genuine threat that we're extremely worried about, but I don't think we even unpacked it and understood it well enough right now because of that rapid shift.
Perfect, perfect. Ilson, if you could list it, how do organizers still fall and to see these risks early and despite accelerating AI adoption? In essence, what do you could list, Cassandra?
Yes, Livia. AI is entering the organization through productivity, not through security architecture, sadly. Unlike traditional technologies, AI is rarely introduced through a long technology deployment process. It often starts with individuals or small teams simply trying to work faster, developers generating code, analysts summarizing data, marketing teams drafting content. So, from cybersecurity perspective, this means AI adoption spreads quietly and organically across the organization, long before governance frameworks catch up. So, the second reason also is that AI risks are not always visible in traditional security dashboards. We are very good at monitoring servers, networks, and endpoints, but we are not yet as mature as seeing when sensitive data is being pasted into an external model, when an AI API is integrated into an application, or when automated decision models are introduced into business processes. And many organizations still think AI primarily as a technology innovation, but when in reality it's also a new attack surface. So the real challenges for cybersecurity leaders is shifting from protecting infrastructure to understanding how intelligent systems interact with data, people, and decision making, because that's where the new risks are now emerging.
Yes, I see. And you, Maya?
Yeah. So, very relevant point that Cassandra made. So even I see, I completely agree to those points. And there are few other points that I've seen, what is the reason for this failure to see AI is that early in the organizations. The main reason is that the AI adoption that is happening, is bottom up. So things are like, there are a lot of AI systems, application tools being procured, being designed. Everything is happening at the bottom level of the organization, while the governance needs to be designed top bottom. So even we have AI systems, a lot of AI systems in the organization, but we do not have a governance structure. We do not have the visibility from the, management or the leadership committee, who are aware of, this kind of, innovations are happening definitely, but what kind of risk is coming along with that. So that kind of visibility from, or that kind of, sponsorship we are not getting from, top bottom. We have seen employees start using AI tools to increase productivity, long before the risk or compliance teams are even aware of. Like Cassandra made that, security is not aware. People have, just implemented a lot of tools or procured a lot of tools, but security is the afterthought, or compliance are the afterthought that people generally go. Then another challenge is that there are a lot of organizational silos that we have seen. Different teams, as I mentioned, that this is a risk where there are a lot of collaboration required, a lot of cross-functional support is required, but all the teams are working, separately in silos. We have security team, privacy team, legal team, business teams, a lot of, teams who are evaluating risk, maybe as per the applicability of AI for that particular department, but they are not coming together or discussing at a common platform. So this silos is also one of the, risk, because they need to understand that AI cuts across all of them. It's not just, that specific risk the different teams are managing. And then most important right now that I see is the skill gap and the literacy. So AI literacy is one of the important thing. Not everybody is at the same literacy level in the organization that needs to be there. There are, like, of course, the technology team or the AI experts are definitely, they are much more aware of the concept, or they are much more aware of the risk, but we do not have the same kind of literacy or education at all levels in the organizations. And definitely people is the weakest link, as we mentioned. So educating people, informing people, and making them
It's
at
very
par with the
relevant.
knowledge is very important. So
Yes, yes.
so yeah, so these are the
Relevate
few
the
challenges.
culture and the
Yeah.
education you raise all the bar, all
Yes.
the organization. And Krishni,
Yeah, I mean, just to say the same thing, but the AI risks tend to sit between different disciplines, so it's not really owned very clearly. More than that is, innovation can move very quickly, even pre-AI, but governance takes a lot longer to adapt and simmer or marinate in an organization. And that's going to always be the key challenges. The two things are actually moving at very different paces. A traditional organization will tend to struggle to see what the connections are, because they are so spread across different types of risk categories and different types of disciplines. And then that last point of, the AI, you call it AI literacy. Not many people are fluent in any organization. Such a small amount of employees, if any, will be fluent in some form of AI. So without a workforce capability and trust, organizations will really struggle to use AI effectively, but most importantly, they'll struggle to challenge its outputs. Because for me, using it effectively, productively, I'm sure you get it right somewhere most of the time, but challenging the outputs, that's the issue. There's a Harvard professor, I think it's Professor Kareem Lakhani. He said, and I'd write this quote down because I wanted to share it, is that AI won't replace human beings, but human beings without AI will replace human beings. With AI,
amazing.
so will replace human beings. So that's just something to think about in this. So it's that knowledge skill gap that will be the, I guess, the secret sauce in the end.
Perfect, perfect. And to finish this block, this part, still with you, Krishna, if you could say in one word or few words, what's the biggest misconception organizations have about AI and risk management today?
Well, I think one thing is that they see it as just a technology problem, but it's actually a governance and leadership challenge. And in any industry, including ones that can have an explosion today or any day, we know that these type of catastrophic failures don't just happen because of one technical issue. It will happen because of weak oversight, unclear accountability, poor decision frameworks. A lot of management problems tend to be the underlying causes of those type of incidents. It's the same in the zone of AI risk management, because it's not AI and risk management, it's AI risk management. And I think that paradigm needs to shift. So as organizations, we have to start asking who's accountable for this. How do we maintain the human oversight and the critical operations? Because remember, humans are good at knowing the truth. AI may be good at some of the tasks. They shouldn't be ratifying the truth, right? So how do we now ensure that these models are actually transparent and auditable? AI cannot replace risk management. It is AI risk management that we need to look at from a risk perspective. So yeah, that's just one of my thoughts. And then how does that affect the people, the communities, and the environment, which are the three places the risk will tend to intersect in.
And you, Maya? In one word, a few words?
Yeah, so very correctly articulated that the major misconception that we have seen is that AI is only a technology problem. This needs to be solved by what I've seen by IT team or a data scientist. So people have this mindset that it's a technology problem, needs to be taken care by technology person. There is no requirement from a governance or a business oversight. Okay. So for example, I've seen organizations specifically into hiring process deploy a lot of AI tools for document analysis, hiring, screening, having customer insights without clearly defining who owns a model, what data is being used, what risk it creates. When something goes wrong, like who is responsible for that bias outcomes, who is responsible for that sensitive data exposure. So that clear accountability, like who owns the ownership, that is something missing. It's just
Risk
that,
metrics.
yeah. And just it's a IT problem, it's a IT hierarchy or organization problem, it needs to be fixed by them. But when it comes to ownership of the algorithm, logic, outcomes, business decisions, who is the person who will take care of it? So that's why I think that AI risk management must therefore move beyond technical controls. It really requires a cross-functional governance involving all the business and all the technical departments. A very practical step that organizations can take is having a kind of a cross-functional committee, have a sterco kind of committee where we have nominations from all the stakeholders. We have a clear inventory of AI systems been mentioned. We have clear classification of AI system based on their risk and classification. We have a clear ownership of the models that we are going to deploy. So when I think all these small steps, if we start taking some, or in some way, it's going to solve at least 10 to 20% of this problem. This is what is my thought process.
And Cassandra, what's your opinion? In one word, a few words?
Of course. Well, Krishna and Maya, thank you for the insightful points you have shared. A lot that many organizations still believe that AI risks will become relevant only when they deploy advanced AI systems internally. But from a cybersecurity perspective, the reality is that the risk is already present today, even in organizations that think that they are not using AI yet. Why? Because AI is already being used around them by employees, by vendors, and by attackers. Employees are interacting with generative AI tools to improve productivity. Vendors are enabling AI capabilities into software platforms, and attackers are using AI to automate phishing, recognizing, and social engineering. So even if an organization has not formally adopted AI, its attack surface, it's already being influenced by AI, and we need to be prepared for it.
Love your statement. And if I could, my statement would be AI is not plug and play. Well, let's move on to part 2, solution, prevent. And Maya, we continues with you. The effect AI governance look like in practice? Who is accountable, and how do you connect it to risk and compliance? Exactly how we was talking related to this risk metrics. totally related. Given your experience building AI governance
Yeah.
and privacy alignment.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you know, in our last conversations, multiple, subjects that we discussed, definitely we came out with one clear issue or a concern is that there is a lack of accountability, governance, and visibility. So, I think for an effective AI governance to begin, there needs to be clear accountability, there needs to be clear responsibility, and a clear visibility on the entire AI landscape. Now, AI, and along with that, every AI system should have a very defined business owner, risk owner, and a technical owner, maybe. So, with the governance, in place, we should be having the AI systems having a named user, a named ownership, which is very important. Along with that, as I mentioned, that starting with the scratch, with the fundamental, the foundation is that the organizations to start with the inventorying of AI systems because we have seen practically that there are a lot of AI deployments in cloud infrastructure, in different platforms of cloud, but there is no clear tagging or there is no clear documentation around AI systems. So it's like a shadow AI that we discussed. So it's very important that we start at least identifying where all the AI applications or systems are, identifying the risk classification, because not all the AI systems will need same kind of control or will need same kind of treatment in terms of control implementation. Definitely, we have to ensure that critical and the high impact AI systems receive more stronger oversight and the control. So that's very important in terms of classifying systems. Then integrating governance with our existing frameworks, such as we already have a cybersecurity risk management, we have data privacy compliance, we have ERMs. So we have to integrate even AI governance or AI risk management in this ERM frameworks, so that we start having the visibility of AI risk management. And also in practice, this also includes having proper model documentation, having security testing in place, before, while developing or procuring AI systems, after, implementing in the production, having a clear testing of the models, having bias testing, having a lot of independent validations. So when we have this all controls in place, in a structured way, then definitely I think this will enable a strong governance, which will definitely, help to innovate with confidence, while maintaining trust and compliance. So this is what even we have started as a, as a practitioner, even I have taken that approach. And I've seen a lot of people in the industry have started, with this journey. So this is something I think when we start, at least we will be in a better shape for having an AI governance, definitely.
Perfect. And Cassandra, given that scenario, this landscape that Maya bring for us, I feel some internal misalignment between the stakeholders. Do I'm wrong?
Yeah, completely. I strongly agree with Maya. Organizations need clear ownership. The business should remain accountable for the use cases and the decisions that are influenced by AI technology. Teams manage the implementation of risk, cybersecurity, and compliance functions that provide independent oversight. Governance works best when these functions collaborate through AI governance or risk review forums. So, effective governance requires classifying AI use cases by impact and risk. Not every AI deployment requires the same level of control. Productivity tools may require lighter oversight, while AI systems influencing customers' financial decisions or security operations require much stricter governance. And AI systems should also go through a formal risk and security assessment before deployment, evaluating data sensitivity, models, risk, regulatory exposure, and cybersecurity implications. So governance must cover the entire AI lifecycle, from training and deployment to monitoring, and retirement, because AI systems can drift, behave unexpectedly, as we have seen so many incidents related to it at the moment, or be
Yeah,
manipulated over time. Mhm.
of course. And Krishna, would you like
Yep.
to
To add on that, I mean, it's not even an addition, it's accountability, accountability, and accountability. Um, one of the things we need to do in our risk assessments is ensure that we have an ethical AI checkpoint at every point of that risk assessment as the hazard categories or the risks start to evolve. This will help us protect our vulnerable workers. Those are on the receiving end of whatever risk we're speaking of. And we can kind of connect those governance frameworks to the compliance piece by making sure, we do those basics, which is making sure the AI decisions are transparent, auditable, and also aligned with your real life or real world exposure.
Yes, I totally agree with you because it's the time when you have to map all the components, all the elements, all the risks, and prevent everything, not mitigate. Mitigate it after when something happens. And we don't want to mitigate, we want to prevent. And it's the time that we are here, correct? And related to humorousy and explainability, where should human in the loop be mandatory versus flexible, Cassandra? From a controls and auditability perspective, what do you think?
Well, Olivia, the real question is, where can we afford to lose human judgment? In
Oh,
practice,
I see.
human oversight should be mandatory in decisions that change trust relationships. For example, granting or revoking access, blocking financial transactions, triggering incident response actions, or making security decisions that can affect customers or critical infrastructure. So, in these situations, AI might recommend or detect patterns, but a human must validate the action because these decisions directly affect security, accountability, and potentially regulatory exposure. Where human oversight can be more flexible is where AI is augmenting cognition rather than enforcing control. So, for example, helping analysts triage alerts, summarizing threat intelligence, or supporting vulnerability prioritization. In these cases, AI is acting as an accelerator for human work, not replacing responsibility, accountability. But from an auditability standpoint, what matters most is decision traceability. Organizations must be able to reconstruct how AI-assisted decisions was made, what signals were analyzed, and what the model recommended, and what action was ultimately taken. So the principle I usually share with security teams is simple. AI can accelerate detection, but humans must remain accountable for decisions that change trust in the system.
Perfect, perfect. And Maya, from the security, privacy, and awareness angle, shadow AI is the major challenge. What practical AI does it don't should organization implement starts tomorrow?
Yeah. So when we talk about shadow AI, okay, so there are definitely, certain steps or, preliminary things that organizations should definitely take care about. One thing is that, there has to be some kind of, guidelines or management intent that needs to be clearly defined, where which we call as a policy. So having a clear policy on the, AI usage or an acceptable, AI usage policy should be there, which defines, all the, like, definitely all the organizations might be having, acceptable use policy, which is majorly from a cybersecurity angle. But definitely with AI coming, we need to have a clear AI usage policy, which will have a very specific and, focused and a specific controls like what do's and don'ts, every user needs to be followed, whoever are, interacting with the AI tools or AI technology. Secondly, like for example, not entering the data into the, unapproved AI softwares, or not relying completely on the output of the AI systems. So these are the basic do's and don'ts that should be a part of the policy. Second is that, we should be having a proper approved enterprise AI platforms. So also, I've seen that a lot of organizations who fear or who has a concern that when we enable the public Gen AI tools, for productivity or helping users to get benefit out of it, there will be a lot of data leakage or data exfiltration issues. So that's why a lot of enterprises are coming with developing their own Gen AI applications. So in this case, there are a lot of enterprise AI platforms which will gradually come up, where employees do not need to completely rely on the public platforms or depend on that. They can use the enterprise approved platforms, which will be which will help them to be in compliance with the policy. Third is that invest lot on in awareness and training, because what we have seen in past 10 years, that there being in the cybersecurity field for more than 2 decades, I've seen that for past 10 years we have been like struggling a lot in educating people on cybersecurity risk. And yeah, so far there have been some kind of improvement, definitely, but with AI coming into picture now, the risk and the and the blast radius of that impact is quite different. So, educating, as I mentioned in earlier conversation as well, that educating, providing right set of trainings and awareness to the users who are lacking the clear understanding on what are the basic do's and don'ts, that is something the organization should definitely focus on. So, so I feel that rather than just blocking AI tools or not allowing employees to just access certain platforms are not going to help. If innovation is blocked, employees will all find definitely different ways to bypass that or to work around with something else. So the goal should be secure enablement and not a restriction. So with these few things, definitely organizations can do not restrict, but have a secure enablement of the AI systems for the users.
Sorry, I wasn't muted. Amazing. Thanks so much. And to finish this block, Krishna, as you always training, training your people, your professionals that work with you, with relevant terms. And to close this blog, talking about the training and awareness, what actually change behavior, and what fails?
It's a complex piece when we're talking about the human-based training, is that training needs to be hands-on. It needs to be specific to the context. When we talk about risk-related trainings, we talk about simulations, real-world scenarios, and feedback loops so that the human being can respond to various different scenarios. Simply showing dashboards, even with an AI algorithm, and where an algorithm fails, will be a failure, to be so indecorous. But so workers need something that's very real world. And leadership itself also needs to start modeling the kind of the ethical use and the human-centered application of AI. So when we start combining the skills people have, the awareness of their rights, the safety implications, the social impact, and we start building that into our training programs, then it can act as a protective tool and not just a compliance checkbox to say, worker X has been reskilled or de-skilled, as we talk about these days. It has to be really custom fit for them, but the behavioral change will come from the leadership modeling, because culture and behavior go hand in hand, and that really comes from the top. So that's my thought. It's a much more complex topic than I'm making it seem out to be, but yeah, just a few thoughts on it.
Whoa. Now, the last block, I have more 3 questions, one for each one of you. And related to benefits protect, Chris, in real world operating environments and emerging economies, how Can AI protect vulnerable works and surrounding communities rather than simply optimizing productivity?
I love this question. I love this question because that gets to the heart of what I do for a living. So I've
Mhm.
seen firsthand that AI can optimize productivity, like Cassandra and Maya have said as well. It can actively also protect your workers and your surrounding communities. It has an enormous potential that we still need to harness to start improving safety for workers and especially in the high hazard environment. But for example, when you have predictive monitoring, it can help you identify when there can be like an abnormal operating condition before a certain incident can escalate, like a pressure rising in a vessel that can lead to an explosion. We can use environmental sensors that can help you detect an emission before it causes, something that is undesired to the atmosphere. So those are good things as to how we can start using that in a better way. Of course, there's already controls for that, but it's using the AI to be a lot more faster and much more optimal. But to use AI to genuinely protect people, it has to be designed with the human being's reality in mind. And I think that's the complexity and the sweet spot of it. It means we have to look at the infrastructure limitations, though how diverse the workforce is, because obviously we interpret things in a very different way. So there's a neuroscience element to that. And also how operating conditions in, say, developing or emerging economies work, because a lot of the work I do is in emerging economies where literacy levels are different. So you've got to really get your AI tool that should optimize the work to understand these very specific social constructs that are not one size fits all. And it still also requires some ethical oversight. So you need to ensure that the AI systems can support the workers rather than, do something that results in them being penalized for that, because it will not be an exact science for when it is implemented with the worker in mind, given those other factors. So when this technology is grounded in some real life operating environments, I think it can be really good. And if you can start building the trust where people can rely on it, yes, but not something that's imposed on them, that can be pretty beneficial. I've also found that, when you start bridging the technology and the operational reality, then AI can start being trusted by those that it's meant to protect. And it can enhance things like your emergency preparedness, incident response, your early warning systems, community safety. So yeah, that's where I think the biggest benefits and can come in. And one thing we don't talk about is how do we protect the dignity of our workforce, because AI is also being perceived as quite a significant threat in the workforce. So we need to build that in as well, and trying to bring that understanding. It's not just also about efficiency and cost reduction, but it is also about the human performance and the safety as a priority.
Maya, with your responsible EA governance lens, women are increasingly shaping leadership in risk, cybersecurity, and tech. How can women leaders ensure AI is deployed responsibly and ethically?
Yeah, a very interesting and very favorite question. So, how do I see that women leaders actually are playing a very important role in shaping responsible AI in multiple industries? If you see across the globe, there are a lot of women leaders who are advocating for responsible AI, as a concept, as a subject, because AI governance requires a lot of diverse perspectives, need a very empathetic approach, and require very ethical awareness, that I would say. And when we see women leaders or women in general, they often bring very strong focus on societal impact. There are, their attitude is towards, not being very unbiased, fair, and they believe, I've seen they believe in long-term sustainability, alongside the technological innovation. So I've seen that as more women lead in cybersecurity, risk, and technology, they can really influence how AI systems are designed, governed, and deployed responsibly, because they have that all qualities, I would say, that will, they will not just think from the, technological perspective, but they will think from all the perspectives that is required, because AI risk, or AI has just do not have a technological impact, but it has a impact on the society, on the people, and the entire planet, I would say. So that's how it's very important to have women leaders in defining all the structures or all the framework that is required for, controlling or governing AI systems. So the goal is not just representation of women, but it is ensuring that all the technology decisions reflect the diversity and complexity of the society they affect. So this is, I think, the women are the best, to bring this to the table. So their involvement in, steering or advocating this subject will definitely add a much more value.
Thank you so much. And Cassandra, from decision-making and controls perspective, why are diverse perspectives critical in high driving risk decision-making, and what changes when diversity is missing?
Yes. Well, Maya really resonate with me. If the teams evaluating AI risk come from very similar backgrounds, technically, culturally, or professionally, there are a higher chance that blind spots remain invisible. So, and in cybersecurity, most incidents happen exactly in those blind spots, unexpected uses of data, misuse of automation, or decisions that seemed efficient but created new vulnerabilities. Diverse perspectives help organizations ask different types of questions. One person may focus on the technical performance of the whole model, another one on data privacy, another on ethical implications, and perhaps another one on operational impact. So when those perspectives come together on a table, risk decisions become much more balanced. When diversity is missing, organizations tend to optimize AI systems only for efficiency and speed without fully considering long-term security, fairness, and unintended consequences. So in the AI-driven environments, risk is not only about technology, it's about how humans interpret and challenge the decisions that technology produces. And diversity strengthens exactly that process and challenge and critical thinking. Thanks.
Thank you, girls. I'm delighted to hear all this content. It's more than a post-graduation. Oh, thank you so much. You are amazing. And we conclude our 3 blocks with all the success, and now we will open for our audience here. And if you have any question, please, you can share here on the chat, or you can open your microphone. And now is your turn to make any questions for our speakers. Raise your hand. I think that is much better. Raise your hand and I call you in your turn. And you can make your question. Anyone have any question?
So, hello everyone. First of all,
Hello.
thank you so much for the wonderful panel discussion. Everyone, all of you, the insight and input you have shared, I'm sure our participants have learned a lot today and they had an eye-opener conversation. So thank you so
Please
much to all
present
of
yourself.
you. Sorry, am I audible?
Or could you present yourself?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, I wanted to say, meanwhile, we are having the questionnaire from the chat of the participant. We do have few questions from the participant of YouTube and LinkedIn. So I would read out those questions to you so that you can answer all of them. So just allow me a minute to pull up those questions. So the first question I have from Krishni. Krishni, ISO frameworks are often seen as documentation heavy. How can organizations make ISO driven risk management more dynamic and technology enabled rather than just a compliance exercise?
Wonderful question. And that is the reality of how your ISO tends to be perceived. So, you've got all of this 19,000, 14,000, 31,000, all of that. The key is to not allow them to operate as just individual ISO standards. You've got to find a way to integrate them. The first thing you ask yourself in an organization is, what are your crown jewels? What is the thing that I'm really trying to protect? So that's the starting point. Then from there, if you're relating that to AI, it's about embedding that AI within a structured governance framework like an ISO aligned management system. So the key thing is that's where you start seeing overall all these ISO standards. It's about human oversight of critical decisions, who is accountable, and if you can apply that to AI, again, it comes down to that, and then integrating the outputs that you have of these different ISO expectations into your risk management process. So that's how I would do it. I would always say, you know what, integrate all of your ISO standards under in one place. Don't try to work in isolation, and understand what the crown jewels of a company is, or your business is, or your operations.
Thank you so much for the insightful answer. Livia, would you like to any point into this discussion?
Yes, of course. Here we don't have we don't have any question here on the chat.
So the
Anyone have any
question
question?
So the question I asked that was, ISO frameworks are often seen as documentation heavy. How can organizations make ISO driven risk management more dynamic and technology enabled rather than just a compliance exercise? So the answer which Krishnani has given to us, would you like to add any point into that?
Is it a question?
Yes, I am sending the question into the chat as well so
Oh,
that
sorry.
you can see.
I lose myself.
No issues.
What is the question for me?
Yes, I wanted to ask, like, would you like to add any point into that?
Oh gosh. Okay, I see. I used to work with a legal design that we can use more signs and designs, and it make it easier. And one thing that I used to work is storytelling. My first background is journalism, so we can use the storytelling to tell stories related to hard have content. And when you tell a story for someone, you can keep it in mind. It's a different way you tell the same thing, and you can keep it in the different way. Then you keep a framework. You see? And
Yeah.
sometimes you have different kind of audience, and sometimes you have to try to present the same thing in a different ways until you find the uh, fit the presentation that fits for the kind of audience when we are talking about the security awareness or the cybersecurity awareness, because it's the big challenge for our area, because you always have a very technocracy content, and how you turn it softly, easily, and comprehensively. It's a challenge that we have.
Thank you so much for a wonderful insight. So, Cassandra, we have next question from you. Many organizations collect massive amount of risk data but struggle to act on it. So, from the approach of AI and cybersecurity, what is the biggest barrier to turning risk data into real business decision, and how can leaders overcome it?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you very well. Okay, I'm reading it through the chat.
Understood.
Mhm. Well, it's a very, very interesting question because nowadays the biggest barrier is not the lack of data, it's the lack of translation between risk signals and business impact. Many organizations can now collect technical risk data, vulnerabilities, alerts, threat indicators, but leaders make decisions based on business risk, financial exposure, and operational impact. So when risk data stays in technical language, it rarely drives strategic actions. So leaders can overcome this by focusing on risk prioritization, translating security signals into clear questions. What business process is exposed? What is the potential impact behind this? How urgent is this decision? So when risk data is framed in terms of business consequences and decision timelines, it becomes actionable rather than just informational at the end of the day.
Thank you so much for the wonderful answer. So, Maya, would you like to add any inputs over here?
Yeah, so I think Cassandra, explained very well. The main, the main issue that I see right now is that the amount of risk data that we are collecting is okay, but translating that exactly into business impact, or the or what is exact loss to the business, that translation and explaining the management or the leadership of the impact is very important, because unless and until you do not have a business impact, nobody is going to help you with all those resources, or whatever you required in terms of, because there is no impact to the organization. So definitely translating not the jargons, technical jargons, but clearly articulating the risk in the business language in terms of financial impact, reputational impact, or regulatory impact, or different kind of business impact that generally the business can pose. Clearly articulating with whatever methodology we can have. We have ISO 42001, we have NIST risk management framework, multiple frameworks we can adopt that. But the intent is that explaining, converting the risk into the business language and explaining the stakeholders the right way is very much important.
Thank you so much for the wonderful insight. So, Maya, we have next question for you. If you have to redesign risk management for the AI era from scratch, what one capability or practice would you prioritize first?
Very interesting question. Actually, if you see, as we discussed, for past more than 1 hour, we discussed a lot of concerns, lot of these issues, lot of risk terminologies. So ultimately, the outcome, or if I want to summarize, is that the AI risk, brings a different dimension, not just technology or operational risk, but we have multiple dimensions to the AI risk. So understanding that what are the different risks that we can pose from the AI, or maybe in terms of, we discussed that biasness, unfair decisions, hallucinations, there are different kind of risk, which is not just IT risk. Okay, this is something which can impact a human, which can impact a society. We have seen multiple cases, in news also, where actually we have seen very, unfortunate incidents due to impact of AI, or, people believing on the outputs of AI, or, so that's why, when given a chance, okay, definitely to define a framework, uh, so understanding the depth of this issues, or understanding the concerns of this issue, and instrumenting a methodology which can, in terms of, definitely for any AI risk, we definitely check for the likelihood, we check for the impact, probability, and impact. That is a two major, I would say, parameter that we check. Definitely in the likelihood part, bringing all those aspects rather than just the traditional ones, introducing all those aspects would be one priority for me, where people can understand, what exactly AI risk means. Because right now, what I think that definitely, as I mentioned, that AI literacy is one of the issue that I've seen. Not everybody talks about AI risk, but they do not exactly understand what are the risks from AI. That is also one of the barriers. So I think these are the main, explaining the terminology, having a proper, methodology devised with regards to what AI risk should be. That is something would be my priority.
Thank you so much for the great answer, Maya. So, Livia, we have question for you. Cross-functional collaboration is becoming essential in risk management. How should risk leaders work with IT, data, and AI teams to build a more proactive risk culture?
Amazing, amazing question. Um, I will give one step behind. Most of the procedure inside company are cross-functional, right, are multidisciplinary, and we are cybersecurity or privacy professional. One thing that you must have is the vision, is the scenario of all areas that are working with us in the process. We must have, it's an obligation that we must know all stakeholders that are involved in the process. Not because they are, how can I say, involved, but because we have a workflow of approval. And we have to integrate all those approval and this workflow for you don't have gap. Okay, close this idea. Now we will talk about approval technical solution that the girls talking here and the shadow AI. We have a third-party risk management process and approval now a technical solution. What are you defining? What are you assess here? What are you identify? This technical solution has or not Gen AI? If I'm making this assessment, okay? And if I'm a GPO or a cybersecurity, I'm the professional that will identify those components, not the IT, not the procurement team, not what somebody else, okay? Because each professional has your own skills and capabilities. Each one will do your own activities. If you have some bypass or some gap in this TPRM workflow, you have a gap. What it means? You have a shadow IT, a shadow AI, a shadow cloud. No matter, you have a gap, you have a risk. So it's what are we talking about? All those risks. For that, we need to understand all those stakeholders that is working with us in the procedure and integrate it. It's a cross-functional collaboration. You see, if I don't know who is working with me, who must work in parallel or after my approval or before my approval, this procedure is fail. It's not who owns the procedure. Everybody owns the procedure, but each one owns your own assessment. And one is that we have dependencies. You see, we cannot sign off this technical solution without all approvals. It's not that one is more relevant than other. Everyone is totally relevant. But the final agreement depends of all those assessments to collect all the outputs and put in this agreement, such as exit clauses, such as cross data transfers, external data transfers, and so on, including Gen AI clauses that we are talking about here. If you don't
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
you cannot conclude it. It's all from my side.
So thank you so much for the amazing answer, and thank you so much to all of you for the great and insightful answer. So as participant, we are running out of the time, so we'll not be able to take more question. So before moving forward, would you like to give any final statement, Livia?
Oh, okay. My final statement is I'm totally delighted with these amazing girls, these amazing professionals, and to be with them in this Women's Day in this year. I really learned a lot. It's my final statement. I would like to be with them most time of the year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Livia. Krishnini, would you like to give any final statement, please?
Absolutely. And thank you, Livia, for being such an outstanding moderator, as well as the GSTC for this opportunity for all of us. From an AI perspective, I think undoubtedly it's going to transform how organizations will start to detect risk. We have to be able to translate that into risk intelligence beyond just simple risk registers. Leadership is going to determine how we respond to those signals to meaningful action. I see women as being key in transforming organizations because we do provide that ethical voice, just to add that in. And that's, I think, the core of one of the areas that I think we can input a lot stronger in. But the future of AI enabled enterprises won't just be about efficiency or automation. It will also be about how much better the decision making can be and how much we are able to protect our people, our communities, the systems that we depend on. Thank you again for this
Thank,
opportunity.
thank you so much, Krishnani. Cassandra, would you like to give any final statement?
Yes. Well, the most effective collaboration happens when risk, IT, data, and AI teams work together while systems are being built, not after they are already in production. This allows risks around data exposure, model behavior, and security insights, security to be addressed proactively. So to conclude, I would like to thank this incredible panel of women for such an inspiring conversation. It's powerful to see women contributing leadership and diverse perspectives to fields like risk management, cybersecurity, and AI governance. And discussions like this show that responsible innovation happens when strong technical expertise is certainly combined with inclusive leadership and collaboration. So it truly has been an honor to be part of this panel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. Maya, would you like to give any final statement, please?
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot to all the panelists. It was really fun having, this discussion with everybody in a very candid mode. Pratibha, thanks a lot, and Livia to, moderate it so well. And, we really enjoyed the session. Even as a speaker, I really enjoyed the session with everybody. Uh, since we are celebrating Women's Day, so just one sentence I would like to say that, of course, on this Women's Day, I would just encourage women that they lead with courage, definitely lift each other as we rise. We also lift each other and use our voice to build a more inclusive and responsible future, because I believe leadership is not about position, it's about creating impact, opening doors for the next generation. So I would encourage all the women leaders and everybody, all the women workforce to join this cybersecurity, AI governance, or any kind of stream that they would like, and try to make impact for themselves and for others. That's from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maya, for the wonderful final statement. So thank you so much to all of the panelists and the moderator being part of this panel discussion. We are very glad to have you all of you here, and we'll be looking forward to having the future discussion and sessions as well. So, moving forward, as we are running out of the time, so I am sharing all of the speakers' LinkedIn ID. You guys can connect with them directly. Livia, Cassandra, Krishnani, and Maya. All of the speakers' LinkedIn IDs into the chat. If you need any kind of guidance, any query, I'm sure all of the speakers and panelists would be happy to help you out. Right?
Yes, definitely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, moving ahead, just not taking yours and participant time a lot. Let me wrap up the session. Just allow me a minute to share my screen. So, if you want to certified in any of the domain, whether it's AI, otherwise L&D or ISO. Certifications are available on our website. And on the occasion of Women's Day, we are giving a promo code to apply onto for any of the certification, which is a Women's Day 20. I'm sharing the coupon code link into the chat box so that you don't miss out. But this offer is only applicable for today. So what are you waiting for? Take the advantage of this offer. Check out our website today. Get any certification and get 20% off by using this coupon code. Before wrapping up the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement regarding the utility tool. So if you're one of those participants who is looking out for the job, then this tool is for you. What you can do, you can log in into utility tool by using your LinkedIn ID and password, and it will re-improvise your profile and give you the suggestion according to the designation you're targeting and the industry you're targeting. We are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants to make your job hunting journey a little bit easier, which will give you 100% off for using this tool. I have shared the coupon code link into the chat so that you don't miss out. But participant, this offer is only available for very limited time of period. Make sure you're taking the advantage of it. And as today we had an amazing and impactful panel discussion with all of our panelists, tomorrow we are going to have one more amazing sessions, one more impactful session where the expertise will come onto the different platform and they will have a discussion onto the first panelist will be Ritu Chakravarti, second will be Nidhi Vinod, third will be Yukta Hans, and fourth will be Asang. And they are going to have a very open discussion, very amazing and insightful discussion into the AI and L&D domain. So I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow as well. And if you are one of those people who are enthusiastic regarding AI, so this session is for you, especially if you want to learn Enterprise Copilot AI in action, including Microsoft, GitHub, and Copilot Studios. So registration are open, and this session is going on from 2nd March to 6th March at 7:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Singapore, 7 p.m. Indian, and 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And if you're one of those people who wants to learn regarding the ISO, so in the series of ISO and Insight Driving Enterprise Resilience, we have a lot of new modules and a lot of new topic for you. This is also going to conducted from 2nd March to 6th March at 8:30 a.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Singapore, 8 p.m. Indian, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The registrations are open. You can check out our website and get registered for yourself. And it's time to celebrate our referral champions. So we have Aminat with us. Thank you so much, Aminat, for helping us amplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. You can also become one of our knowledge professional and advisors. What you have to do, if any of your peers, colleagues, and professional wants to join for this webinar or any other webinar, you can refer the registration link, which you will find on our website. What's in it for you? So you will get a referral for your every reference. And once you hit a 50 referral point, you will be able to get a free $400 one gift certification voucher. But as always, this offer is also available for a very limited time of period. So make sure you're taking the advantage of it and become one of our knowledge professionals and advisor. If you would like to be one of our speakers for learning capsules, webinar, and podcast, please reach out to us at pratibha@gsdccouncil.org and preetham@gsdccouncil.org. I have shared the email ID into the chat box so that you don't miss out. And these are the platform where you guys can connect with us, our LinkedIn profile, our WhatsApp group, our Instagram channel, our Twitter channel, our YouTube, our Pinterest channel, and our official WhatsApp channel as well. For staying updated regarding our upcoming events and trends, please do connect on all of our platform. Also, we would love to hear your session key takeaways and learning outcomes. We would love to know what most resonated with you, because your feedbacks and suggestions help us to improve our program to making your learning journey even more engaging, dynamic, and insightful. I'm sharing all of the platforms link into the chat along with the reviews.io link. Do connect with us for staying updated regarding our upcoming events and trend, and do share your session key takeaways and learning outcomes on reviews.io. With that, it's time to come to an end. Thank you so much once again to all of the panelists, Cassandra, Krishnini, Livia, Maya, thank you so much to coming on our platform. We are very honored to have you here today. We had a blast in today's panel discussion and looking forward to having in the future session and future panel discussion as well. Thank you so much to all of the participants for joining into this journey. I hope the panel discussion has been conducted today has been an eye-opener conversation for you and you have learned a lot. Looking forward to having you all tomorrow as well. Till then, keep learning, keep energizing. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.